Hello everyone, Adrienne here. So if I sound a little bit different, it's because I have a brand new microphone. So if you like the improvement in the sound quality, nice. I'm really happy with it. One thing I wanted to address today before we get started on today's video is if I look tired, it's because I am very tired. This past weekend at work was a little bit chaotic, so understandably, I'm thankful I have a couple of days off now, thank God. So today I am very excited to announce that I have released my very own eyeshadow collection in collaboration with Tater Beauty. So the name of the collection is called Amore e Morte, and it is inspired, if you guys haven't guessed already, by the work of my favorite composer, Gaetano Donizetti, the handsome gentleman sitting behind me. So in case you guys aren't aware, when I was about 15 years old, I discovered Donizetti quite serendipitously, and that made me super happy. So I was already interested in pursuing voice seriously, and then I was able to get a lesson with a friend of one of my aunts. So she said,
"Do you know any Italian, dear?"
Of course, you know, I got a little terrified and I'm like, no, I've not studied Italian at all. Oh God. So then she rummages through her many books of sheet music that she has in her music studio, and she pulls out Composizioni da Camera by Gaetano Donizetti, and she kind of leafs through it, and she picks out a song called Amore e Morte. So she said,
"Okay, I'm going to play this for you so you can get an idea of what this sounds like and see if you like it."
So she played it for me on piano, both the piano part and the sung melody with it. And I absolutely fell head over heels in love with it. I'm like, oh my God, how have I not heard this before? And I, from that point on, just felt so inspired to pursue opera because I had fallen head over heels in love with actual opera music. And so that was the first song I ever learned in Italian, the first song I ever learned that had to do with real classical music, and it was also the first song that I ever learned by Gaetano Donizetti, and it's what really ignited the spark for my passion for opera. So that's why I'm here, that's why I have pursued opera seriously, and that's why I'm still going at it. So I definitely wanted to pay tribute to my favorite maestro in some way, and one thing that I really love that I am super passionate about is makeup. Even though I don't really talk very much about makeup on my channel, that's definitely by choice. I do want to let you guys know that. The reason for that is because I don't want the content of my videos to get oversaturated with fashion-based content, such as makeup tutorials and fashion haul videos and things of that nature, because there are, in my opinion, enough goth channels that focus on makeup tutorials, and I don't want to contribute to the redundancy. That being said, makeup is something that I do love and enjoy. Sometimes when I listen to music, I think of really rich colors that I associate with the song I'm listening to sometimes. So I kind of put two and two together, my love for opera and my love for makeup, into this collection. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys. I really am. I worked very closely with Victoria of Tater Beauty on the design and definitely on the attention to detail on the colors. You'll notice here we have this kind of rose and skull motif, which I absolutely love. And then I really love the text that she chose to go along with it. And then obviously on the top it says Amore e Morte, which means love and death in Italian. So I felt like Amore e Morte was the perfect name for this collection because that's definitely what Maestro Donizetti was all about. So basically at this point I am going to go through all of these shades, and yes, all of the shades that I am wearing on my eyes today are from the Amore e Morte collection, and I think I'm wearing 5 of the 8 shades. So I will get into that after I'm done talking about the shades, their background, and why they made it into the collection. So I'm going to start with the one that everyone was most excited about. This one is Lucia, and this is inspired by the opera Lucia di Lammermoor, and this is probably Donizetti's best known work. And obviously, Lucia is iconic. You know, she was brought to life by Joan Sutherland and Maria Callas. You know, Lucia is just legendary. Absolutely legendary, and there's a reason why the Mad scene is so well known and popular among opera fans. So the reason why I went for this luxurious shade of blood red was because, so toward the end of the opera, Lucia stabs her husband Arturo to death in the bridal chamber, and she stumbles out to her wedding party in her blood-spattered wedding dress wielding a knife. And her demeanor is of one who just went mad. And it's wonderful. And at that point, of course, she sings Il Dolce Suono, where she's calling out to her lover Edgardo and saying how their enemies are conquered and she wants to be with him and they're free to be together. So it's really a beautiful and morbid moment in opera, and I've had the pleasure of performing it in front of people 4 times in my singing career. 5 times. It's, oh my god, it's so thrilling. And I absolutely love singing it. So, as you can imagine, the blood-spattered wedding dress inspired me to create this color, which is the most luxurious blood red I have ever seen. And you can probably see it's the very rich, beautiful blood red shade that I'm wearing on my eyes today. And honestly, there are so many things that can go wrong when creating a red eyeshadow. It can be either way too pink, it can be way too orange, way too purple, or way too brown. So lots of things can go wrong. And it came out perfect. It was so perfect. I squealed when I saw how beautifully these colors melded together into this one gorgeous, glorious shade of red. You guys are going to love it. Alright, so this next shade I'm going to be discussing is Lucrezia. It's a lesser known one of Donizetti's operas, but still definitely very beloved. So it is inspired by his opera Lucrezia Borgia, and if you guys don't know, Lucrezia Borgia was a figure in Renaissance Italian history, and she was part of the very notorious Borgia family, and she was actually a serial poisoner. So she very much got what she wanted via poisoning people. So it was pretty intense. Now, Donizetti's opera, based on Lucrezia Borgia, paints her in a more sympathetic light, which I think is really, really interesting. The reason why I went with this color is because green, like certain shades of green during the Victorian era, were very, very popular. And because of what they used to create these pigments in some of these shades of green, the actual fabric was toxic and was making people sick. And when I was first told that story by my friend Rose Sinister, I was so fascinated by it. I'm just like, oh my god, that is so cool. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard. Considering the connection that the Victorian era had with the color green, and especially shades of green like that that were toxic to wear, I just thought that was a really cool way to kind of bring this out, considering that Lucrezia was a serial poisoner. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to be talking about here is Elixir. So the story behind this one is it's inspired by Donizetti's opera Elixir of Love. So it kind of strays from the rest of these colors in the fact that it has a little less to do with tragedy and more to do with a kind of romantic comedy, because Elixir of Love is a romantic comedy. Basically boiling it down to a quack doctor who's trying to sell a very cheap bottle of wine as a love potion. So when you think of a really cheap bottle of wine, you think of a purple that has a very slight hint of red. So you know what color a cheap bottle of wine looks like. So that's what I was kind of aiming for with this color. I think it is so beautiful. I'm really glad that I added a little bit more purple to it because it was a little bit too much like a high quality wine. I wanted it to look like a cheap bottle of wine. So that's definitely what I wanted to accomplish here. So the next color that we have in my collection is called Anna Bolena, and It's exactly what it sounds like, guys. It is inspired by Donizetti's opera about Anne Boleyn, and basically telling the story of the events leading to her execution. So when I think of royalty, I think of royal blue, and I also think of satin. So I combined those two ideas together for Anna Bolena, and I made a beautiful royal blue with a satin finish, and I really love how this turned out. It is so vibrant, it is so beautiful and so rich. I really just love the work that Victoria has put into making these eyeshadows. They're so pretty. So the last of the shades inspired by Donizetti's actual operas is this one. This is La Favorite. And obviously La Favorita is my favorite opera of all time, and definitely my favorite by Donizetti. This is the blackest black you have ever seen in your entire life. I absolutely love it. So the reason why I wanted this color to be black, so in O mio Fernando or O mio Fernando, the heroine, who's played by a mezzo-soprano, Lenore, is dreading the fate that awaits her if her beloved Fernand should find out that she is the king's mistress. And so in the third movement, she kind of gets extremely angry and starts losing her shit, and imagines this very morbid wedding ceremony where she is draped with a black veil. So that's where the inspiration for La Favorita came from. So I thought that was a really nice nod to the opera. Definitely. So in the section where the black veil is mentioned, the line is "Jetez un voile noir sur le triste fiancé." Throw a black veil on the sad bride. So that's where that came from, and I'm so happy about it. So the next shade we're going to be showing off here is called Requiem. And this is one that I was really excited about, because if there's one thing that Tater Round's Beauty does very well, it is gray eyeshadow. So she has created previously like some of my favorite gray eyeshadows I have ever seen. My favorite by her being Haunted, and it's a beautiful rich gray eyeshadow with a hint of purple. So whenever you see me wearing gray eyeshadow and my eyes just like really pop, it's because it has a hint of purple in it, and purple tends to really bring out my brown eyes. So that's just how it is. Anyway, so with Requiem, I was inspired by rain-soaked tombstones for creating this color, and I really love how it turned out. So here's a fun fact about Donizetti on the day of his funeral. People actually made arrangements to have his Requiem Mass that he had written for Bellini played at his funeral. So that is really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. I love Requiem Masses, and Donizetti's is definitely the best. Alright, so we have 2 more colors to go. This one that we have right here is Tragedia. So what I love about Tragedia is that it is the best transitional shade that I have ever seen. And let's be real, it's really hard to find a nice shade that will transition well from light colors up on the brow bone to darker colors on the lid. So I wanted something that would be versatile to go with rich jewel tones as well as neutral tones. So Tragedia is definitely your go-to. And the reason why I named Tragedia is because that means tragedy in Italian. And the final shade is called Muse. This is a beautiful bone ivory. So one of my favorite pictures I have seen having to do with Donizetti is a monument that was built in his hometown of Bergamo. And the monument shows him looking upon the muse of tragedy while he is sitting down writing and composing. So I thought it was just such a beautiful image, and I really loved the idea of a kind of statue of a Greek muse, and particularly of the muse of tragedy. So it represents Donizetti so well. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that you go check out Tater Round's Beauty. There will be a link for the entire collection in the description below. I do not make any money off of this. Every bit of cash goes to her with your purchase. And she does amazing work, and I really encourage you to go support a wonderful independent creator. And I've been using her eyeshadows for years, and I cannot attest to their quality enough. They are just beyond beautiful, such high quality, such high pigment, and they blend so gorgeously. So I am wearing 5 of the 8 shades on my eyes right now. I'm wearing Lucia on most of my eyelid right here. And then as a kind of crease color, I am wearing Elixir. So it's along the crease area right here and then over here. On the very outside, I have La Favorita. And then Tragedia is the transitional color that is right above my crease. And then, of course, on my brow bone, I have Muse. So it really came together to create a beautiful look. And I definitely wanted it to be gorgeous and multi-dimensional, so I hope it definitely turned out that way. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and to support an amazing independent creator who does amazing work. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye!